Hello again, my little GIs, and welcome to another Mordian Glory video. Recently, I did a video on the new US Winter Starter Army and how I said that I thought it was a really good way of getting into Bolt Action 3rd Edition, whether you were starting with the box set afresh or whether you were coming from Battle of the Bulls with the American half. That video got a really positive response. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone that did watch it. And if you've not seen it, I'll make sure there's a link down in the description below. But I did get a lot of follow-up questions about that video, especially in regards to how should I build the models. So that's what I want to do today. I want to take you through the beginner army list that I would build down to the individual models. So if you do get this starter set, you're going to be able to build them to make an effective fighting force. And so with that mission in mind, let's not mess around any further. Let's fix bayonets and charge right into this thing.
Tell me, do you know what makes a good soldier?
The ability to fire 3 rounds a minute in any weather, sir.
No, you fool! It's the ability to click on the affiliate link down in the description and buy yourself a copy of Sharp's Command.
I command here.
No, I command here.
No.
Sharp Command is the brand new novel in the best-selling historical series that has sold over 20 million copies worldwide.
God save Ireland!
Buying yourself a copy of Sharp's Command and supporting the channel at the same time? Now that's soldiering.
First things first, let us very quickly remind ourselves what we get in this starter set. What do we have to work with? There are 36 of the new US Winter Infantry. We've also got 4 command models with officers and medics and stuff. And then we've got 2 medium machine guns, a medium mortar, a anti-tanker, which is actually a medium howitzer. And we've also got 2 vehicles, one Easy 8 and one M18 Hellcat. Interestingly, there are an additional 3 infantry models that come as part of this starter set. They're not listed on the box's contents, but they are on the picture of the models that you get. It's additional 2 riflemen, one with a field telephone, and you've got another guy who's lying down with a set of binoculars. And I have been assured that they do come as part of the army. That's good to know because we are going to make use of them in this video. So now we know what brave American models we have at our disposal. We need to know how we're going to build them and assemble them into units. I suppose the best place to start with this would be the rifle platoon. You need a rifle platoon in every single Bolt Action 3rd Edition army. And once you've got it sorted out, it unlocks the other platoons that you're going to be using, such as the armor platoon for your tanks. We've got 36 plastic infantry at our disposal, and we are going to break these down into 4 different squads. We're going to take 2 large 11-man squads. We're going to give 9 men in each one of these units, including our sergeant, a rifle. And then we're going to give the remaining 2 blokes BARs. The reason we want this many rifles is because of our American special rule. For every 3 rifles we have in a squad, we get an extra shot. So by having 9 riflemen in the unit, we're going to get 3 extra shots. We're going to add the 2 BARs in there for 2 reasons. Firstly, it's a bit of variety. Nice to paint something up a little bit different, and it's going to give you a bit of variety when using the unit, getting those BARs in there. But also, they do fire 2 shots and have got a better range than your standard rifle. So it gives you a little bit of fire support and a little bit of variety. With those 2 units sorted, we are going to have used up 22 of our 36 plastic infantry. So what are we going to do with the remaining 14? Well, we're going to make them into 2 assault units. We're going to go for another 2 squads of infantry, and we are going to have 3 rifles in there because, again, that will benefit our American special rules, so we'll get an extra shot out of the squad. And we're going to give the other 4 blokes in there SMGs. These SMG armed squads are going to be faster and more mobile. The riflemen like to stay still and blast away at range because if they move then they have a -1 to hit penalty, but our SMGs don't suffer that same problem. And so having these 2 smaller assault units will give us a chance to move in, close distance and do some damage and just be a bit more maneuverable. All of these infantry units are going to be used building the regular infantry squad unit, which you can find on page 221 of your bolt action rulebook. They're all going to be regular veterancy as well. We're not messing around with inexperienced or veteran infantry with this. We want to keep things consistent. That uses up all of our plastic infantry and gives us a really solid foundation for the list. But there are a few other units in the rifle platoon that we're either going to need or that we're going to want. The first unit that we need to take to make the rifle platoon legal is an officer. We're going to go for a regular platoon commander, and we're just going to keep him on his own. Some people like to add extra guys to the commander's unit, but I found that just keeping him as a lone officer keeps him cheap, makes it easy to hide him behind vehicles or behind buildings, and just allows him to do his job without drawing much attention to himself. In a similar vein, we are going to go for a medic in the rifle platoon. This is mostly because we need to make up the points, but also medics are an extra dice in the bag and they do make your guys a bit more survivable. But the last unit in the rifle platoon is a really good one, and that is going to be our forward observer. We're going to go for a forward air observer, and we're going to go for him as a regular with no extra men in the unit, just standalone again. Americans get the benefit of being able to call in 2 airstrikes from 1 air observer, so it really makes sense to use this model and this unit. Now, if you're wondering what model we're going to use from the starter army for this, we're going to use one of the 2 radio operator guides. You get one as part of the other command models with the medic and the 2 officers, and then you also get one as part of those extra 3 erroneous infantry. Whichever one of those models you prefer, you're going to use that for your radio operator and for your forward observer. That just about rounds out our rifle platoon, and that's going to give us 7 dice in total. Now, for a good bolt action list, you want to have about 14 to 16 order dice in the bag. So starting off with 7 for this one platoon is a really good way to get going. With the rifle platoon in hand, let's go and get some fire support, starting off with a heavy weapons platoon. To be honest, this one's fairly straightforward because we're just going to be using the weapon teams that come in the box. Our heavy weapon platoon will consist of 1 officer, that's going to be one of the metal ones that we get as part of those metal command models, and then we're going to have the 3 weapon teams, the 2 medium machine guns and the medium mortar. These units don't have really any weapon option choices or variety in the way that they're built. They are one-piece metal models, essentially. The only thing to mention is they're all going to take it at regular veterancy, and we're not going to be bothering with a spotter for the mortar. The reason we're not going to go for an extra spotter model is because of points, and also because of the fact that we can use our forward air observer that we paid for in the rifle platoon as a spotter for the mortar and for the artillery piece. Speaking of the artillery, a bit like with the heavy weapon platoon, this is fairly straightforward. We are going to be taking an artillery platoon. You only need 1 artillery piece for an artillery platoon, so we'll just take our medium howitzer here, and we are going to need an officer for that platoon, so we're going to go for an inexperienced platoon commander. The reason we're going to go for inexperienced is it saves us a few points, and typically this officer is going to stay out of line of sight, just next to this artillery piece, just bossing it around, and so we don't need to worry about him getting shot, him dying on a 3+ because of him being inexperienced. He's just going to be a bit of a tax for us to unlock this platoon. Last but certainly not least, if you're like me, tanks are the best bit, we're going to be looking at the armored platoon. Here we're going to start with our Sherman medium tank. Now, when you look at the Sherman entry in your bolt action version 3 rulebook on page 227, there is a bewildering number of choices. And if you're a new player, you might have no idea which is the right Sherman to represent the one you get in this army. Well, don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly which one to pick. Under the options section of the unit, you want to pick option number 5. That will be the 5th bullet point in the list. This will read as replace all weapons with one gyro-stabilized turret-mounted heavy anti-tank gun with coaxial MMG and one forward-facing hull-mounted MMG, losing the improved HE special rule shown below for plus 15 points in brackets Sherman 76mm. In total, that unit should cost you 225 points, but don't forget you are going to need to spend an additional 10 points on the Sherman for it to be your command tank. So the overall cost will be 235 points for the Sherman Easy 8. As for the second vehicle, that is the M18 Hellcat. You can find that on the following page, 228. Now, that's under the turreted tank destroyers, and you are going to initially pay 160 points, but you're going to take option number 2, the second bullet point, decrease the damage value to 7+ for minus 20 points in brackets M18 Hellcat, which they may be given recce for an additional 10 points. You are going to do all of that, so it's going to be minus 20 points, then plus 10 points, so that is going to come out to 150 points in total. And then we are going to add on the pintle mounted HMG for additional 25 points, so that tank will cost you 175 points. With the armor platoon completed, your list should come in at about 1,250 points. It might be 1 or 2 points under. And you should have a total of 15 order dice, which is perfect for when you're getting started with bot action. It's just enough so that you're not going to get out-diced and out-ordered by opposing armies, but it's not too many that you're going to feel like you've got too many units to handle, too many levers to pull. If you're struggling to get to that points value, let me take you through how much each unit should be costing you. In the rifle platoon, your regular standalone platoon commander should cost you 30 points. Your air observer regular should cost you 75 points, and your medic regular should cost you 23 points. The 11-man strong rifle and BAR squads should cost you 110 points plus 12 points for the BARs for a total of 122 points each, and the smaller 7-man assault squads should cost you 70 points plus then 16 points for the SMGs for a total of 86 points per squad. This means that your rifle platoon should cost in total 544 points. For the heavy weapons platoon, you should be spending 30 points on a regular platoon commander, 50 points on each medium machine gun, and you'll have 2 of those, and then 45 points on the medium mortar. In total, this platoon will come in at 175 points and 4 order dice. For the artillery platoon, you're going to take an inexperienced platoon commander, which will cost you 21 points, and then you are going to take a field artillery howitzer, which will initially cost you 45 points, but you're going to upgrade it to a medium howitzer, which will cost you 40 points, and you're going to add a gun shield to it, which will cost you 5 points for a total of 90 points for the gun and 111 points for the platoon. We already covered the points of the armor platoon, but very briefly to recap, you should be spending 235 points on your Sherman 76, which will be a command tank, and you should be spending 175 points on your M18 Hellcat. In total, that will come to 1,240 points. That actually gives you 10 points wiggle room. So if you wanted to add a spotter to either your howitzer or to your medium mortar, you could do. Or if you wanted to, you could spend those points elsewhere on some upgrades for your other units, however you want to play it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I would build the US Winter Starter Army if I was getting into bot action for the first time. I hope you guys have found this video helpful. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Is there any way that you would change up how you would build this army? Would you maybe go for a bazooka team here or there? And are there any other starter armies you want me to do a similar video for? If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to go ahead and smash that like button and also subscribe to never miss an episode.
Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian glory hole, today is your lucky day.
And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Alex Dengal, Bon Vert, Lord Pryor, Mark Panconi, RJ Scorpion, Swordfish Trombone, Try Again Bragg, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Diesel Fox, and August Barney. Seriously, guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video. And of course, as always, I'll see you guys next time.